Welcome to TIO Stadium in Darwin for round 7 of the 2020-21 TIO NTFL Men's Premier League competition. Today we've got a great game between St Mary's and Waratah. My name's Liz Cruz, and joining me today is Stu Davis and Shannon Rusker. Welcome, gents.
Thank you, Cruzy.
Thanks, Liz.
Looking forward to a good game, Stu?
Oh, absolutely. 4th and 5th, I think, on the ladder, and both really needing a win, and this should be a cracker of a game, as was the previous game, and the next game should be too. So a great triple header here today.
And Shannon, both teams coming off a loss last week. They'll both be looking for a win today, as Stu said.
Yeah, both teams will be looking forward to getting themselves back on the winners list, but both sides are very strong by the team sheets.
Yeah, we've had a few changes. St Mary's, I think, have made 5, and a few first gamers in Lloyd Raymond and Dylan Tarkson, and Waratah have got a very strong team in as well. A few players that stand out to you?
Yeah, Sean Edwards has been great for St Mary's across the season. Kieran Parnell last week was fantastic down back, and look forward to seeing the young first gamers play in Waratahs. We see Michael Newton, who's a great forward, former Melbourne Football AFL player, and also Sam Boulderstone from Norwood Football Club.
Well, it's Indigenous round this weekend in the NTFL, and it's great to see a lot of the teams repping their Indigenous round jumpers. The umpire has held the ball aloft, so we'll get it underway, Stu.
Yeah, Balderston and Grenfell in the ruck. Ryan Smith starting on the bench today for Saints. I'm sure he won't be happy about that, but he's a team player, so he'll wear it. Tars into attack very quickly, and strong tackle there in defence. And it's Kieran Parnell back there doing the work for Saints. Hands it off to Tyler Saunders, who kicks out wide towards the outer half-back flank. Lockie Taylor out there picks up and drives it round towards the wing. Nice pick-up and handball inside, and now Saints the opportunity to go forward through Paredes. He kicks inside forward 50, but doesn't find a target there, and that's chopped off across half-back. And Waratah the opportunity to clear out of defence. Mark spilled on the outer half-back flank there, but they've got the numbers there to tidy up. Hand pass back again, and now a chip in towards the big fella Boulderstone. He couldn't mark in the contest. Gooch hand passes across, and now Tars working it out of defence and through the middle of the ground, straight up the corridor by hand, and now a nice pass inside forward 50, and another one inside 50 on the lead, and that's Newton, is it, on the end of that one? Takes the mark on the lead.
Very good build-up there from Waratahs, coming from the defensive 50 and found targets all the way from coast to coast.
Yeah, so it is Michael Newton, his first game for the year, I think. He's been coming up here for a couple of years now, and an opportunity to put the first score on the board from the right forward pocket. He's picked that one skinny, however, and just snuck it through for a behind for Waratah.
So the first score of the day on the board, nice and early, just coming up to the 2-minute mark here at TIO Stadium in Darwin. You're watching on the AFLNT live stream and via the NT News app. So
ball comes out to first gamer here for Saints. Tarkson gets a hand pass across to Wilson, who's running. He's got a couple of players chasing him and manages to get away and spirals one towards centre half forward, and that's a good mark taken at centre half forward there by Dustin Walters, and he's going back, taking his time. He'll be kicking from just outside 50, I would think, so the breeze is pretty much straight across the ground today. It'll take a good kick from there, I would think, Shannon.
Yeah, it was great from St Mary's to penetrate through Waratah's zone then, and they moved the ball very quickly and got it forward and caught them on the rebound, so it was great from St Mary's to recognise that.
Well, Walters knew exactly what he had in him, and kicks the first goal of the game from outside 50, just got over the heads of the players standing on the goal line, so that's a good response from Saints after Waratah took the ball the length of the field to score a minor, and Saints with the early lead.
Yeah, Walters, a great mark there. It's his first season of NTFL, and he's played every game since round 1. He's from Apollo Bay, and he's loving living in the Northern Territory. I think Raph Clark, the captain, took them all goose shooting last night, so getting into the Territory way of lifestyle, Shannon.
Yeah, it's always interesting going goose shooting the night before the game. The boys would have loved it, and they would have got dirty, and a great experience from the Territory.
So Grenfell wins this one to Edwards by hand to Paredes, who gets the clearance for Saints down to centre half forward. Ball's on the ground now and taken there by Hetherington for Tars. He chips it out wide to Boulderstone, and he's got a bit of space, so he just strolls off with a bounce and now kicks, not the best looking kick, inside, and that's chopped off, and that's Walters again for Saints. He's got a player out here, Ted Castle, that marks it just forward of wing on the grandstand side of the ground. He goes straight up the middle of the ground and pinpoints that in between a few Waratah players. Bounced off the chest, though, of his teammate, and Waratah bring it out of defence, but some really good defensive work there by Taylor, that was, and coming across and getting a double fist to that, knocking it out of bounds.
He's very fast, Lockie Taylor. A good. He was in the athletics team at high school, I think. Just turned 19 on Monday, so happy birthday to Lockie.
Sam Godden gets a clearance this time from the boundary throw-in, but his kick falls straight into the arms of Dylan Lant for Saints. His pass isn't able to find Clark, and Saints are under pressure in defence now as Collis gets a kick towards full forward. It's high, and some strong body work down there by Newton, and now the ball bounces free again. First gamer out there for Saints is chasing Tars players, unable to get his hands on the ball, and now the kick comes in. A kick around the corner here from Brody Carroll, and it looks good. It is. Goal umpire says yes, it is, and so some good defensive pressure by Waratah in their forward line, Shannon.
Yeah, it was great pressure by Waratahs to hold that ball inside their forward 50. Their quick legs to get after the loose ball, and results favoured them, and went through the big sticks. But it's both teams' willingness and the tempo of the game right now from both sides is incredible. The leg speed from both is at a high level.
Well, Brady Carroll's the co-captain of Waratah this side. He was injured last year. He had that freak elbow injury that he sustained in a club practice match. So good to see Brody back in some good form for Tars. So we're just coming up to almost the 6-minute mark, and it's Tars by a point, 1-7 to one straight goal to St Mary's.
So umpire Morecambe gets this one up. Smith's in there for Saints, taps it over the back, but Tars are there first. And through hands back to the big fella Boulderston. He decides to kick instead, but wasn't his best effort. And now Goddard the chance for Saints, gets the hand pass back to Tarkson there, but Paredes it was, but it's his kick's chopped off at half back, and Tars the chance to go forward again. Kicks in towards the centre of the ground, but picked the Saints player in between two Waratahs players, and it's Williams who drives Saints forward again. Ball comes to ground, and Tarkson there couldn't pick it up at his feet, and now the chance for Tars to come out. Hand comes out from Oakes, and they work the ball down towards the centre of the ground. The mark's taken here by Turnbull. He plays on by hand, and Gooch drives the ball forward for Tars. Deep in the forward 50 now, and paddling around. Brody Carroll hanging around at the back of the pack waiting for it. He's got another snapshot on goal, and another goal. He was in the right place at the right time. Just held his space, Shannon, rather than getting sucked into the pack there, and the ball eventually worked its way out to him. He
did. It was very clever by young Brody. He kept his space, and he let these players attack the ball and gave a release player, and he's found himself kicking his second goal. It's great to see both sides trying to own the middle corridor at the moment. Very high skilled, but a couple of turnovers by feet, but they're still willing to try and own the middle of the ground.
Yeah, well, Brody, as we already said, co-captain this season. He grew up in Katherine. He's played for Waratah since under 14 and also the Big River Hawks. He's the son of former Waratah player Shane Carroll and nephew of the famous Waratah reserves coach Paul Carroll-Poo, who's won about 10 or 11 premierships, I think, in the reserves.
Smith wins this one too. Paredes, sorry, Liz.
You're right. I was going to say Div 1, not the reserves. I should call it by its proper name.
So it's a free kick to Paredes in the centre of the ground here, and
I think that's Jack Lant who took that kick, Stu.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Too, yeah.
Similar number.
Yep. But it's Tars in defence. Callum Searle working that one out, and McGrath a long way up the ground from the forward line. Won the free kick, but advantages paid. Kieran Parnell in front, got his hands to the ball, couldn't take the mark and went to ground, and now consequently Tars go into attack again, but this time the kick's very wayward and misses everything on the near side from Abe Anchors out on the full, so unusual for him, normally a good finisher. kick in short, and it's Parnell there who chips it out wider again. And Saints just slowing things up at the moment, looking for their best options, and eventually go around the wing, ball off hands and over the boundary line in front of the TIO Stadium scoreboard.
Both teams seem to be getting a lot of uncontested marks, which is just a testament to their work rate at the moment, giving their teammate an option, an easy option.
So the boundary throw in, Westerberg in ruck against Smith. Ball's on the ground, it's not coming out cleanly from there, and umpire Price Quintner comes in and will ball it up in front of the scoreboard again. So Westerberg flicks this one over the back, but good hands in there by Taylor, but his teammate was caught straight away, and a free kick to Tars as they come inside towards 50 again. McGrath got the hand pass, but the umpire said it was illegal disposal, and there's a bit of a wrestle on the outer side as well, but Jellyman Turner is taking the free kick. Umpire Noonan, I think, has seen something in this that he didn't like and is paying a free kick to Waratah by the looks. I thought he was pointing for Saints in the first instance, but it's a Waratah free kick, and now Turnbull gets on the end of this one and takes the mark about 55 out from goal. Swings around and kicks high towards the top of the goal square where Big Balderston's down there, and uses his body really well and takes a mark below his knees virtually in the end. So some good athletic work by the big fella.
Be hard to match up on him today, just with that size.
Waratahs look very lively on their feet. They're leaving transition from contest extremely well, and it's catching St Mary's out on the rebound.
So Balderston no problem from 20 metres out, and that's 3 in a row for Waratah now after Saints kicked the first goal of the game. So they'll be pretty pleased kicking to the airport end in this first quarter and making the most of their opportunities after an early miss.
It's good to see the big fella kick his first goal in NTFL footy.
He was dual premiership ruckman with Norwood in the Sandful 2013 and 2014, was named the Sandful a Ruckman of the Year in 2020. So just retired from the Sandful and has signed up to play for Payneham Norwood Union next season. But obviously Waratah have got him for the NTFL season. As we just coming up to the 11.5 minute mark, St Mary's just the one straight goal, Waratah 3-1-19.
So Westerberg wins this one. Paredes on the end of it. Good hands to Edwards, and he goes by hand to Goddard. Goddard kicks deep inside forward 50 now. Oh, sitting over the back of that was Lant. It spilled off his chest, and Payne in there had a kick as he was almost falling backwards, but Tars are good enough to work it out of defence now, and again on the end of this one is Turnbull for Waratah at half-back in the shade of the grandstand. And he looks to switch the ball back into the corridor. Does that well. Carmichael by hand out there to Hetherington. His kick's a worm burner down towards centre half forward. Goes past everyone. Parnell's first back there. Gets his hands to the ball. Now Shepherd's for Saunders. Saunders picks up, and his kick travels along the ground as well. But ball couldn't be taken cleanly. Eventually it comes back to Saunders. Ball spills out in the tackle from Anchors. Another strong tackle in there, and we'll have a ball up inside forward 50. So some good hard work there. No free kicks given, and
bit of push and shove going on for the last few minutes, Shannon.
Yeah, it's a great contest, and that's what we want from football. We want a nice, solid contest, and both sides are willing participants.
Saunders with the clearance again from half-back. Westerberg, some clever work there to tap it forward to Hetherington. Newton traps it beautifully and then kicks on the left foot. Knew he had a teammate in Cameron Wild at centre half forward, and that was really clever work, getting the ball on his boot quickly. He must have seen him before he took possession, because he didn't look up after he took the ball.
Well, it's Cameron Wild's first season in the NTFL as well, after making his debut in round 3. Another one from the Sandful. He played from the Central Districts prior to coming to Darwin. He's also got TAC Cup experience as he kicks that, and just misses there to the left. So 13.5 minutes here at TIO Stadium in Darwin. It's Waratah 3-2-20 leading St Mary's, just the one straight goal at the moment.
So Saints running the ball out of the defence, and there's the first gamer down there, Lloyd Raymond. We'll talk a bit about him later, but he's taken the mark just between wing and centre on the scoreboard side, kicks inside the corridor, as he's obviously been instructed to do, and now Ted Castle on the bottom of this one, goes one way and then the other, eventually hand passes to Edwards. Edwards chips the ball forward there, looking for Jack Lant, but the ball was too far out in front of him and beat everyone over the boundary line.
Well, going back to Lloyd Raymond, Stu, debutant, as you said, he played 20 games in the under-18s boys in the last couple of seasons, and he's played 4 in Div 1 this season, so great to see a junior step up to Premier League.
Anchors in there with the hand pass to Hetherington. He chips it inboard, and that's a good mark taken there by Graham. He goes out wide looking for Gooch. Gooch picks it up after a couple of bounces and drives around the wing. And Tars again with numbers out there, but Saints work back pretty hard, and the young fellow Raymond tried to hand pass to himself, but that's come unstuck, and now Tars again the chance to go forward. A drill pass in towards Newton there, but goes out of bounds and over the boundary line. So yeah, I was talking to Andrew Wills before the game, Liz. He's pretty excited about Lloyd Raymond. He's a Haileybury school kid, and apparently got his L permit yesterday, and first game today, so big week for him. Good luck to him.
Chopper told me Willsy might have had a few tears at the jumper presentation earlier too. Very proud. Obviously come through the Clontarf program, which Willsy works for, as we see a free kick go to St Mary's. Brandon Grenfell appealing for the 50 metres there.
And getting it.
He's getting it for not returning the ball on the full. So, Shannon, what do you think Saints can do here to get that ball into, say, Jackson Payne or one of the forward line players there?
Yeah, Saints just need to get their first hands on the ball. At the moment, they're a little bit reactive, and Waratahs are getting first hands on the ball either in congestion or on the loose ball, and it's just making Saints work a little bit more overtime, and it's do your work early instead of doing those long runs to defend.
So Payne was in the marking contest there, but Nick Gooch got it away from him and out over the boundary line. So Gooch is a good defender, and be pretty stiff opposition for Payne today. It's a pretty good matchup, I think.
Yeah, it is a good matchup. He's another co-captain, Nicholas Gooch, along with Brody Carroll, and he's about his 6th or 7th season for Tars. He's originally from the Pecola and District Football Netball League down there in Northern Victoria.
Balderston in front, just taps it down in front of himself, but Saints are there, and it's Raymond with the hand pass, and kick around the corner doesn't come back far enough, and is out of bounds on the full, about 20 metres around from the behind post. So playing on now and getting caught with the ball, and an unfortunate kick, but the mark couldn't be taken by Saints, and now Tars under plenty of pressure. A kick off the ground by Wilson, was it? But off the line and a behind only.
Yeah, good second effort there by Wilson to apply that pressure with the tackle and then kick it through. Unfortunately, a point for St Mary's.
Just a brave man to take on Wilson on the mark.
Yes, so Godden for Tars in the back pocket here, taking the mark, and now kicking long down the line around the grandstand wing, flying over the top is Kieran Parnell, and that's a beautiful mark coming from about 3 deep in the pack.
He's had a haircut, Kieran. He's looking a bit fresh there. I think he started a new job with Ryan Smith this week, so maybe Scissors told him to get a haircut.
So Lance kick inside 50, and it's chopped off there by Searle. He has Hetherington running for him, and he plays on straight away towards the outer wing. It's marked there by, it's not marked in fact by William Collis, and spills over the boundary line. So just took his eye off the ball, I think, and let it slip out, and a restart right on the centre wing on the outer side.
Yeah, just coming up to the 18-minute mark. It's Waratah 3-2-20, still leading St Mary's 1-1-7.
So Ryan Smith works his way to the front. That's a pretty short throw in, and Smith read that the best. Gets a hand pass but doesn't find a teammate. Saunders comes in for Saints, gets tackled, and the ball spills out. Andrews gets a hand pass again, but big Boulderstone for Tars eventually clears the ball into the forward 50 and falls in the lap there of a teammate who I'm not sure who that is, but it's a flying shot at goal as he runs around now and just misses to the near side.
Yeah, they've got Raf Clark on Balderstone, who's probably the biggest in the St Mary's team today, but still giving away a bit of size there, Shannon.
Yeah, Raf's got to use his experience definitely against a big body. It's probably 110 odd kilos there with big Sam Balderstone, but Raf will hold himself in high regards and play him accordingly.
So Ted Castle worked up and found Daly Andrews, who kicks inboard, but it's all Tars again here, and a couple of hand passes and a kick inside 50 from Catanach. Ball on the ground, and Tars again with a shot from right on the 50 in front. The hand pass comes back, a kick around the corner. It's close, but not close enough, and Jake Sutton looked like he half liked it for a while there, but
and the St Mary's supporters let him know when he missed it. They're all up this end underneath us here in the commentary box.
So Jack Musgrave clears for Saints to the outer side, and now a chance for Walters. His chip pass out wide for Paredes gives him a bit of work to do, and he would be penalised for that, I would think. Just a bit frustrated after he'd taken the ball out of bounds and kicked it into the fence, and you won't get away with that. So Tars again on the outer wing, and just working the ball slowly here, a slow build up, and now a deep forward entry. Great hands there. And that's McGrath in the marking contest there with a single grab. Again, a bit of feeling between the two clubs here, but McGrath will go back and take his shot for goal, and he's a renowned goal kicker for Waratah, and you'd probably back him in from here, I would think, Shannon.
It was just a great contested mark for all the young kids that are out there, just extending his arms and taking the ball at its highest point, and he felt rewarded for it. But he's a great goal kicker, and he's a great contributor for Waratahs.
Well, as we say that, that's a pretty poor kick. Didn't even make the distance. And, off hands and through for or behind. And Dylan Lant for Saints, again looking to bring the ball in. He runs outside of the square now, has a bounce that he didn't probably need to, but steadied himself and got it over to Taylor, who plays on straight away. Hand passes forward now to Andrews, and Andrews kicks long, but it's all Waratahs back there. They should tidy this one up, and that's Hetherington again, who's had a bit of the ball across half back for Tars, gets it back after giving the hand pass, and now chips inboard and finds Nathan Oakes. He goes wider again, and Tars, with some numbers on the outer side, decide to run the ball. Godden gets on the end of this hand pass, chips inside looking for McGrath again. McGrath gets his hands to the ball, but was already over the boundary line according to the boundary umpire. So it's a free kick to Saints anyway.
It's a great build-up by Tars then, Shannon. Coach Ryan Ayres has got them playing well as a team.
Yeah, they're playing very well. They're playing very team-structured footy. Saints are breaking down across their half-forward line, and it's giving Tars the opportunity to rebound and hit targets on the way forward. So if they can tidy that up, they're going to be very good, I think, St Mary's.
So Tars again winning that ball at half-back, and but this time the ball's gone through the hands, and Taylor for Saints kicks back towards centre half forward, but chopped off again there, and siren beats us all. So after Saints kicked the first goal, Liz, Tars with the next three, and really took control of the game a bit with winning the ball across half back.
Yeah, they sure did. 2 goals to Brodie Carroll and 1 to Sam Balderstone. Shannon was pretty good for the Tars there.
Yeah, he was very good, Sam. He gave him a target. I thought Jaden McGrath late in the quarter was fantastic, just his presence and his big body and his ability to hit up at the ball carrier. I thought Brodie Carroll was tirelessly working, and St Mary's Lamp was very good coming out of the back six. And also, I forget his name right now. It's past me, but I'll get it. It was Kieran Parnell for the first half of that quarter. Yeah,
absolutely. Kieran Parnell put in a solid first quarter, but it's St Mary's who trail Waratah 3-5-23 to 1-1-7. We'll be back for the second quarter after a short break.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Head on in to Kazali's Palmerston Club. Business meetings, coffee breaks, or just unwinding, Kazali's has you covered. It's the perfect spot for a catch-up with friends, with stylish function areas suitable for any occasion. Sensational meals. Our family-friendly bistro has plenty of delicious options. All the latest machines in our modern gaming room. Get around the pool tables and prove your skills. Fancy a flutter? We've got full betting facilities available. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
So we can feel wherever you feel together, real together. No one can stop. No one can stop. Nothing could ever bring me down.
Time to escape, 'cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide. Ooh.
Great Northern Brewing Co. The beer from up here.
Intersport, new concept store now open in Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience.
Dedicated sports zones.
Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice,
Come and see it.
still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store.
Now open at Casuarina Square.
AFL Northern Territory would like to remind spectators that congregating at the team huddles is not permitted during the breaks.
Well, welcome back to TIO Stadium in Darwin for round 7 of the 2020-21 TIO NTFL Men's Premier League competition. We've got St Mary's versus Waratah here, and it's been pretty much all Waratah in the first quarter, off to a strong start as we get play straight back underway here, Stu.
Big Balderston slaps that one out of the air, but running onto it was Daly Andrews, got the hand pass back to Paredes running forward. Hand pass comes across now, but we've got a free kick behind the play here, and again some ill discipline by Saints, and Waratah will benefit from that. And it's Carmichael for Waratah. He chips this one in and hits McGrath on the lead outside forward 50. He turns and swings in. Jellyman Turner comes in there, has a collision with Collis, who was running back with the flight of the ball, and now there's a high tackle found and a free kick, and Collis still down on his haunches a bit there. It was pretty solid contact.
It was great courage by both players.
Bit of a floater of a kick goes forward. There's 3 Waratah players out there and 1 Saint. Unfortunately for St Mary's, the ball comes off hands and out of bounds, so we'll have a restart on the outer wing. So yeah, we're talking at quarter time, Shannon, and Saints just really breaking down across half forward. Waratah were really well organised behind the ball and just tied it up every time, basically, that Saints went forward.
Yeah, they did, and Waratahs were structured up very well. They worked hard back to their defence to help out in numbers, and St Mary's just blazed away and lost control of the footy. But on the rebound in the transition, Waratahs were getting forward with leg speed, and they were working really hard.
So Walters brought the ball in forward, and Payne got himself in front and has won himself a free kick with, must have had the arms wrapped around him, I think. That was Alex Maloney, who's matched up on him now. So Payne with his probably his first touch, just about, well, certainly his first opportunity for goal. He swings out now, kicks around the corner, brings it back, but brings it back too far. And just a behind for St Mary's early in the second quarter.
We've seen Payne kick quite a few bags of goals this season so far already, so he'll be wanting to get one on the board soon to get his confidence up, that's for sure.
So Hetherington for Tars goes long outside 50, looking for Balderston there. He punches the ball forward. Dylan Collis was there but couldn't keep it in play, and it'll be a boundary throw in just outside defensive 50 for Waratah.
Good to see the great man Mark Noonan back out there umpiring today. Joining him, Brody Morecambe and Andrew Price-Quintner in the green today. And it's Indigenous round this weekend in the NTFL, and St Mary's have got their Indigenous round jumper on there, designed by Lulu Coombs. She's done quite a few jumpers, done the Hawthorn Indigenous jumper, and if you've been in the renovated St Mary's Club lately, there's a beautiful wall there that Lulu designed as well. So well done to Lulu on that Indigenous jumper.
So Grenfell wrestled with Balderston there illegally, according to the men in green. And so Balderston takes the free kick, goes straight up the corridor looking for Wild there, takes it on the second grab, and now hands off to Anchors. Anchors goes wider, and some good work out there by William Collis. Eventually gets it up to his brother Dylan Collis, and Collis chips inside 50. Hetherington had made his way down and got it across here to Sutton. Sutton finds a player out there in McGrath, and a free kick's been paid for holding, I think, and McGrath will go back and have another shot for goal. He missed his opportunity in the first quarter, but he'll be kicking this time from about 30 metres out.
Yeah, I think the umpire just said Jack Musgrove didn't have his eyes on the ball when he went to spoil, and hence the free kick was paid, Shannon.
Yeah, it was, but again, it's Waratahs. They're getting a lot of space, and St Mary's have to just shut this down, otherwise the game will get away from them. They've got the leg speed, they've just got to apply that pressure in transition.
Yeah, and a point there to Waratahs takes the score to 3-6-24, leading St Mary's 1-2-8. So, yeah, 9 scoring shots to 3 to Waratah so far. St Mary's need to really get that ball down their scoring end.
Big leap there, but nowhere near the ball. Balderston in the play again, gets a hand pass forward. Carroll on the right foot this time, kicks inside 50. Westerberg underneath that one, and takes a strong mark under pressure from Raf Clark. And another bit of push and shove just off the play, but it's Zach Westerberg who will go back and take his kick. And he'll be kicking from about 45 out on a slight angle.
Just look predictable. They look like the quick entry in, but it's still going into the middle corridor and inside that hot spot, so they're looking very predictable to each other.
Well, he kicks into the man on the mark there, and ball bounces out. Carroll gets quick hands across to Anchors. Anchors with a flying shot at goal. Looks pretty good. No, it's just missed to the right-hand side. So Saints still under plenty of pressure, but bring the ball in quickly, and now they're looking to run the ball out of defence down this grandstand side. But ball goes over the back of everyone there, and now an opportunity for Saints to build something here. And the kick forward by Tarkson isn't really to the advantage of Payne there, but Saints have got some numbers, some clever work down there by Jacob Long, who got caught in the end, but got caught high, so he'll take the free kick, and it looks like they're using him forward again tonight, Liz.
Yeah, usually we see Jacob in the back line, and just like his older brother Jack Long has been really good there in the last few seasons. He's only 18, Jacob, so Chopper must be trying something new there with him in the forward line the last few weeks.
So Long's kick goes across the face of goal, and Ryan Smith there almost took the mark and got the ball on the bounce. I think he was surprised that it fell back in his hands and then got caught with it.
Wasn't sure what was going on there.
So it's Oakes back there for Tars, who finds a teammate outside 50 in Turnbull, and good use of the ball once again by Waratah coming out of defence. Turnbull now chips the ball out wider and finds his captain, one of his captains in Brodie Carroll. Just backward of centre wing on the outer side. He's called to play on now and kicks long down that outer side. And again, McGrath is there. Not much of a contest from the Saints defenders.
Three St Mary's defenders there, and they just let the Waratah player take that mark.
So McGrath kicks inside 50, but no mark taken. Saunders working hard on the ground. Hand passes forward in hope more than anything else, but there's some Saints numbers there. But eventually it's Tars who bring it in, but Raf Clark tidies up across half-back, gets it back after a hand pass to Smith, and he drives long, and now there's some space, and running onto the ball. Oh, just got a toe to it, and follows up again, but again tackled, so really persistent defensive work from the Waratah defence. Ball spills out now, and hand pass back inside by Tarkson, and flying shot at goal, but out of bounds on the full, so again, Waratah working really hard defensively, and no easy movement inside 50 for St Mary's.
It was just great by Brodie Carroll to never give up on that chase. One effort, two efforts, but it was just phenomenal and well coached by Ryan Ayres to have him in that defensive mindset.
So kick into the man on the mark puts Tars under a bit of pressure, but they work it out pretty well. But the kick out of defence missed the target and bounces over the boundary line. So we'll have another throw in. So,
well, in the earlier game today, Shannon, we saw your Southern Districts team beat Tiwi Bombers by just the one goal.
Yeah, it was a game that was never threatened any great heights, but it was a very contested game, and Tiwi came late, as they usually do. You give them a sniff and they'll come, but Districts held on for the one goal win.
So Westerberg took that ball out of the ruck contest, kicked forward. Parnell read it best off the pack. Hand passes to Jellyman Turner, and Jellyman Turner now kicks forward, but there's a free kick off the ball for holding, and it'll go Anchor's way for Waratah. Was holding in the Shepherd, I think.
We're just seeing St Mary's player be assisted from the field injured. I think it's Dustin Walters there. He's looking a bit sore and sorry for himself as he heads to the bench, and Brandon Grenfell will run on.
So Taylor, deep in defence for Saints, kicks the ball out towards the boundary line. He'd want a teammate to get to that, I would think. He'll be penalised. No, not deliberate, and we'll have a boundary throw in. I think most of the players expected a free kick to be paid, but umpire knows best, and ball's thrown back in now. Grenfell takes it out of the ruck uncontested and kicks around the boundary line again, but Waratah's working back with the numbers. Hand pass comes inboard. Hetherington swings a hand pass out, and now a chance for Tars to build something coming out of defence again. But Saints have got some numbers here, and Edwards taps it in front of himself before picking up, and now ducks one way and back the other, and chips short to Wilson, who picks up on the half volley. Bit too clever with that hand pass, and was behind Edwards in the end, and was forced over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Just saying hello again, a few of the players there, Shannon.
There's definitely no love lost between the two sides, but it was, that contest just then between Sean Edwards and Rabs, they've got a lot of experience and they've just messed it up. But the experienced boys of Saints are getting their hands on the ball, which is now giving them the opportunity to get forward, and it's slowing the scoring rate down of Waratahs.
Well, young Bo Tedcastle has taken that mark, and we know he's been an experienced goal kicker in the junior levels, and he's stepped up to Premier League this year. And Shan Rusk has just given the goal signal next to me, saying that he thinks he'll kick this goal. So let's take a look as young Bo Tedcastle goes back from 50.
Don't think so, Shannon. It's drifting across the face. Bodywork down there by Payne. He must have been off hands. He hooks it back around. Jeepers, that's coming really close. That's an amazing goal. He was almost outside the boundary line when he kicked that over his shoulder and swung it right back round. I don't know if the wind caught it and brought it back, but a fantastic finish.
It was a great pass by Ted Castle.
Well, Payne was actually leaning on the fence by the time it went through for a goal. That's how deep the angle he was on. So, yeah, Jackson Payne finally on the board. St Mary's will be happy with that goal, and that's the first goal in this quarter, I think, Stu, is it?
It is.
So Waratah still leading 3-7-25 to St Mary's 2-2-14, but just an 11-point margin here at TIO Stadium in Darwin. We're just coming up to the 12-minute mark of the second quarter.
It is just an 11-point margin, and that, the way the play's gone, you'd be surprised with that, and Saints would be pretty happy that that's all the damage so far. So Jacob Long with quick hands there to Lant. Lant drills one in, and Tedcastle again on the end of this one. And I was going to say the previous one, Shannon, that the kick from Harry Williams to Tedcastle inside was just a beautifully weighted kick, let him run onto it, and he protected the ball with his body and took it on the chest, and he's in the right place again this time. Yeah,
movement creates movement, and Bo Tedcastle led early and was on the end of a nice kick, and the kid moves very well, and I probably put the mockers on him last time, but he'll put this one straight through the big sticks.
Kicks towards goal, and he's dragged it to the left.
Maybe Shannon won't call any more of Bo's goal kicks on goal for the rest of the game. If you're a St Mary's fan, we'll keep him quiet. But Bo has been very reliable so far this season, as we see that ball chopped off by Shawnee Edwards there, the Waratah kick in, Stu.
Yeah, and Shannon's backed Tedcastle in, and really a small forward should be converting those, and now Edwards really has to take the responsibility for Saints and go back and drill this one from about 50. He read the play well then and chopped that one off as it came out from the kick in.
It's good to see St Mary's get 3 repeat entries into their forward 50, which is allowing them to have a shot on goals, and Sean Edwards finished beautifully.
Yeah, that was no problem at all. He's it's gone over fence height as went through the goals at the back, and so a good finish, some good leadership there by Edwards to step up, make the effort, take the intercept mark, and then finish with the goal. So first 2 goals of the second quarter to Saints, and they're right back in the game. Yeah,
all of a sudden we've got a 4-point margin, Stu. Well, Shawnee Edwards, one of the more experienced players in the team. He's got a lot of AFL experience after being drafted in 2011 to GWS, and went on to play 24 AFL games for GWS, Essendon and the Sydney Swans. He retired from the AFL at the end of the 2017 season, and he's come back home to Darwin, where he's born and bred, and got his great little business, House of Darwin. He had a pop-up shop at the Pratt Markets this morning, so he's had a busy day, an 8 a.m. start. So good to see Shawnee getting on the board for Saints there as we see the ball go out in front of first gamer Lloyd Raymond over there on the scoreboard wing, Stu.
Yeah, so 4-point game, and Saints kicking with the breeze, but I'm not sure that that's been the factor that's brought them back into the game. They've just been a bit smarter using the ball, I think, and a bit more persistent defensively. So Grenfell reaches over, gets this tap forward, but an ordinary kick forward now. Edwards tries to kick it off the ground and falls into the hands here of Searle, who has a free player out wide in anchors. He takes the mark and plays on straight away by hand over the top. Chip kick in by Carroll, I think that was, and he's found Newton inside 50. So again, good build-up by Waratah, a good use of the ball, and sees them have another set shot.
Well, I'll put the mockers on the forwards today, so I'll have a go at Newton. He's a very good kick, AFL experience, an old body, and let's see if he can put one through.
Nope.
We'll just let Shannon call the defensive end of the play for the rest of the game. At least you're doing it for both sides, Shannon.
That's correct.
Nice and fair. Well, we're at the 15-minute mark of the second quarter. It's St Mary's 3-3-21, trailing Waratah 3-8-26, just a 5-point ball game at the moment here at TIO Stadium in Darwin.
So Saints through Dylan Lant with a couple of bounces out of the goal square, and now it's come forward here to Tarks on his hand pass. Doesn't find a target. Goddard working hard underneath, but so too is Dylan Collis for Waratah, but he's penalised, and Saints bring the ball forward quickly. Jacob Long picks up here, hand passes inside to Paredes. Paredes kicks long out in front of Payne, pushes his opponent out of the way. The ball goes over the back. Payne's first there, taps it back, hoping for some support. Tedcastle comes in late, but Maloney was in there for Waratah, got there first, and now the ball bouncing around on the ground, and plenty of bodies in there now as a quick kick comes out by Oakes, and the first gamer Raymond gets on the end of this one and takes the mark and runs back pretty excited with the opportunity to have his first shot at goal in Premier League football.
Well, I'll talk about the goal kicker just in case Shannon puts the mocker on him, but wouldn't it be nice to play your first Premier League game and kick your first goal, Stu?
Certainly would, but it's not the easiest of shots from probably about 40 out on 45-degree angle, but he's going back and taking his time now, and his kick comes towards the top of the goal square. Bit of a wrestle down there, but some good work, good strong work by Alex Maloney in defence for Waratah. Takes that mark about 10 metres out from the St Mary's goal.
The thing that impressed me most a few minutes ago was just Bo Tedcastle taking on the play. 16 years old, Shannon, and playing Premier League footy and not taking a step backward from any of the tackles.
No, he's got very good ability, and he's playing with some confidence, and he's backing himself in, and that's what we want to see from our young players that are coming through the ranks, and he's very comfortable out there on the football field.
Good mark taken here by Tarks on running backwards with the flight of the ball, and Body's running at him, but he stood firm and took that mark overhead. Kicks the ball long inside forward 50 now. Ball's paddled around. Maloney's in there again for Waratah. Picks up eventually and forces it out here. Good hands there by Carmichael. And Tars bring it around the wing, but Parnell got his hand to that ball and then was first to recover and pick it up. His kick went along the ground towards 50. Anchors tidies up for Tars and kicks towards the outer side of the ground where Sutton takes a mark. He's got some running players with him as he takes a bounce. Wild outside of him receives the hand pass now. He hand passes long again, but that's gone a bit too far, and Tyler Saunders comes in for Saints with a bit of strength and takes the ball, but his hand pass isn't the best. Jellyman Turner thumps it forward, and Edwards comes in now, and eventually Saints tidy it up out of defence. And again, it's Raymond on the end of this one for Saints. He chips back inside the corridor and finds a teammate in Goddard, who hand passes back here to Edwards. He's got Parnell out wider, and now Parnell with some space takes a mark, runs on straight away, kicks inside 50, but he's overcooked that over his teammate's head, but the mark couldn't be taken. Hand pass comes out. Jacob Long there picks up cleanly at half forward, looks to duck back around, but he's caught in the tackle as he does so. And Tars with some numbers work it out of defence again. And again, good defensive setup. Jellyman Turner reaching high here, got a hand to the ball. He's met solidly, but keeps going. Edwards couldn't pick it up. Jellyman Turner back inside to Lant, to Musgrove. Musgrove's kick in the Balderston direction for Tars, but comes to the ground now and picked up, and showing a bit of toe there was Daly Andrews. Gets the ball back and now kicks on the left inside 50. Payne working towards this ball, and plenty of pressure. Kicks off the ground.
Hit the post.
It hits the post. He's done a couple of clever things in this quarter, and he's had to because Maloney's doing a great job on him defensively. So Tars bring this ball straight up the corridor once again, but Paredes gets it to Williams. Williams tackled, didn't get the hand pass according to the umpire, and Oakes, I think it is for Waratah, that's just saying slow things down, and chips it out wide. And now
got a few sore bodies out there after that last few minutes of play. Jellyman Turner and Rabs Wilson looking a bit sore after getting up from some contests.
It was a great 2 or 3 minutes of contest then, and both teams willing. It's not pretty football, but it was a grind, and St Mary's have changed the tempo of the game and made it, a grind and a hustle to put the game back on their terms.
Yeah, they've had a few changes this week, so it might have just taken them that first quarter to get back into it, especially after last week's poor loss.
So Saints had the chance to run the ball forward to the hand pass over the top from Smith, but Goddard just couldn't take it cleanly, and we've got a free kick on the boundary line to St Mary's on the outer side.
I think it's one of the Lance. Long way away over there.
Yep. So Jack Lant, that would be right in front of the scoreboard on the outer side.
A few sets of brothers out there today between the teams.
Kick comes in. Comes to Anchors, who hand passes over the top to Oakes. He hand passes inboard here, looking for Sutton, but missed that target. And holding the ball, free kick will go Waratah's way, and it's Sutton eventually who wins that free kick. Chips inboard here to Carmichael for Tars, and he's seen a player in some space further afield, and picked up and hand pass back outside by Sutton. Anchors on the end of it, hand passes long towards the outer half forward flank. It's fumbled again, but the kick comes in, and now Newton, don't argue there, pushes his opponent out the way, hooks the ball back to the goal square. Westerberg's there, spills off his chest, gets a hand pass though, and a kick around the corner from Hetherington is a good finish for Waratah. Just beat the siren, and that's Waratah's only goal for the quarter, and a timely one a couple of seconds before the siren went.
I think it was Catanach. Was that Hetherington or Catanach with that goal? So the first goal of this quarter to Waratah, 4-8-32 to 3-4-22 to St Mary's. All St Mary's, mostly that quarter, Shannon.
It was good by St Mary's to get themselves back into the contest. It was pure work rate, and that's all it was. Yep. They changed the game. It wasn't pretty, like I spoke about earlier, but they made it a grind. They weren't letting Waratahs get out and make these uncontested possessions and go coast to coast. They shut them down, and they turned the ball into their favour, and in transition made some repeat entries to give themselves a chance to get themselves back in the game.
Yeah, well, a goal on the siren to Waratah gives us a 10-point ball game. It's Waratah 4-8-32, leading St Mary's 3-4-22. We'll take a break and be back after half time.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Absolutely zero.
Zero.
Yeah, definitely.
It has to be zero.
Yes. Yep.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's asking too much.
Domestic violence is everybody's business.
And it's not just the physical abuse, it's the things we don't see.
It is hurting our families. It is killing our families.
A lot of people have been silent to this fact, and I think it's about time we all speak up together and say no more to this form of abuse.
No more.
No more. No more family violence.
No more to the family violence.
No more. No more.
No more.
Time to escape, 'cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co., the beer from up here.
On Territory roads, anything can happen. So you need to drive to the conditions. Speeding can get you into all sorts of trouble. Dirt roads aren't just dusty. When it's hard to see, they're dangerous. At water crossings, remember, you're driving a motor car, not a boat. High water can be deep trouble. All sorts of animals can be on the road, so watch out. And if the weather is bad, slow down, you mob. Drive to the conditions and arrive in good condition.
The time to kickstart your business is now. Get your message across with the experienced local TV production team at Kick Digital. Cost effective, rapid turnaround, exceptional service. Kick Digital. Television production energised.
CFS Schoolwear is the perfect choice for quality custom-made school uniforms. Ideal for all school-related activities. 50 or 500 students, we have what you need. Contact CFS Gear for your free CFS Schoolwear quote today.
Getting my hands on the footy and just being with my mates.
I like being outdoors. It just makes me happy. I don't like it when I get yelled at.
It's pretty embarrassing when someone's shouting at you halfway through the game.
It makes me feel like I'm useless and I can't do anything.
We're just kids.
We're just here to have fun.
Let us do what we love.
Just let kids be kids.
AFL Northern Territory would like to remind spectators that congregating at the team huddles is not permitted during the breaks.
The NTFL clubs and umpires would like to share the following events and messages and thank their sponsors for the 2021 TIO NTFL season. For more information, please visit the relevant club or umpire's Facebook page.
Welcome back to TIO Stadium in Darwin for round 7 of the 2020-21 TIO NTFL Men's Premier League competition. We've got St Mary's versus Waratah here. It's pretty even in the first half. It was all TARS in the first quarter, but St Mary's made a good comeback in the second quarter. Stu, a good game to go into the second half with.
Yeah, and an important goal right on half-time for Waratah just to steady them a bit. But I think Saints would be a bit happier with the work they did in the second quarter, and we've certainly got a game up for grabs here in the second half.
Shannon, what do you think the coaches would have asked of their players at half-time?
Just continue on with what they're doing. I think St Mary's have got the right formula from the second quarter, and Waratah need to get back to their first quarter of spreading hard and working.
So TARS with the first clearance, but it's Saints tidying up across half-back as Lant goes short to Wilson. His kick's off target, and it's punched away defensively down there by Thomas Graham, and over the boundary line for a throw-in. So right on the centre wing in front of the grandstand, we've got Big Boulderstone up against Ryan Smith. Boundary umpire throws it high in the air. Batted forward by Boulderstone. Wilds out in front. Might have come off his shin there, out on the full, and it's a free kick to Saints, and Sean Edwards will take this one. He chips inside, and the mark's taken there by Andrews, who wheels around and kicks long into the forward line, goes over the back of the pack. First back there for TARS is Maloney. Hand passes forward looking for Blake, but missed him, and Tedcastle gets on the end of it for Saints. Sees a teammate in the forward pocket, and that's Jacob Long. He's looking to play on quickly, but his kick is chopped off, and it's well done by Hetherington there, and Waratah now running the ball out of defence, but that's an errant kick as well, and Jellyman Turner will mop up here for Saints on the outer wing. He drills it down the line there. Long again with a sweeping left-hand hand pass, but Waratah have the numbers. Hand pass comes inside, and now they're looking to move the ball by hand again. Anchors in it a couple of times, and kick forward by Graham, and he finds a big fella down there in Newton on the end of that one, and so Waratah with the numbers on the outer side work the ball pretty well, and the kick inside 50, and it was a bit of a mismatch down there. Newton a bit tall for Tyler Saunders. His kick on the way now, but not his best effort. He's dragged that one far behind. So TARS have really missed a few opportunities as the scoreboard reflects. 4 goals 9. They probably could have had more of a lead at this stage of the game. Dylan Lant runs out and has a couple of bounces. Kicks in short to Tarkzon at half-back for Saints. Sean Edwards working hard to find some space, but that's ignored, and now goes backwards instead to Raf Clark. Clark got a free player on the outer side. That's Jellyman Turner. He takes the ball and plays on straight away. Kicks back inside the corridor but misses the target, but fortunately lands in the hands here of Andrews, who hand passed back out to Parnell, and Saints work the ball towards the outer side again. And now Jacob Long chips it inside forward 50, and the ball's marked there by Lant, who goes long. There's plenty of TARS players there, but Ryan Smith reaching over the top just plucked it out of the air, and it was probably a well-weighted pass in the end, and Smith was there on the end of it to snatch it as it came in.
It's a good matchup. Ryan Smith back out there on Boulderstone. He's getting forward on him, and he's going to use his running ability, and obviously it's Boulderstone's second game in the territory, so he'll be feeling the heat, but Ryan's a very senior player, so he's working very well and extremely hard off him.
So Ryan Smith, no problem at all there, straight through the middle, and that's a good start again to this third quarter. By St Mary's worked the ball pretty well around the outer side.
That's right. So, as you said, a good goal to Ryan Smith. So that takes the score to 4-9-33 to St Mary's 4-4-28. Back to a 5-point ball game. As you said, Ryan Smith, an icon of St Mary's Footy Club. He's played 173 games and kicked 60 goals. He's a dual premiership player for NT Thunder and a multiple premiership player for St Mary's. But another one was good to see get involved in the play there was Daly Andrews, who's from Werribee and Williamstown in the VFL. He's been playing at South Adelaide in the Sandful. He's a mate of Kieran Parnell, and he came up last week and came through the Div 1 competition where he got in the best last week. So good to see him come into the game early in this third quarter, Shannon.
Yeah, he looks a very lively player. He's got some great skills, and he can use his experience at that level and bring it to St Mary's. Will be great for them. But their experienced players are getting their hands on the ball now, which is great to see for Saints.
So anchors at half forward for Tars, kicks inside 50, almost marked there by Sutton, but worked away by Saints. It's Wilson out in front, picks up eventually under some pressure, gets a hand pass back inside to Lant, and Parnell through the hands back to Lant. Jellyman Turner now on the boot, kicks down the wing here, but there's plenty of Waratah players in the action, and Collis with a kick in board, just missed there by Wild, and gives Saints the opportunity to tidy up.
Great one-handed pick up there by Anthony Wilson.
So Harry Williams kicks in board here, and Paredes picks up and kicks long. He's contacted after he kicked the ball, and it'll be a relayed free kick. So another opportunity for Saints, and it's Big Grenfell getting on the end of this. He hand passes off to Ted Castle, swooping around the back, kicks long towards goal. It's not coming back far enough.
He hasn't got his kicking boots on today, Shannon. Ted Castle.
Yeah, that's okay. At least they're getting shots on goals, and they're moving the ball a lot quicker than they were in the first half. So that's a credit to Chopper and his crew. They're obviously flagged that to move the ball on quicker.
So brought in by Hetherington for Tars, or up high over the top there was Taylor. He got his fist to the ball and saw it out of bounds on the outer half-forward flank for St Mary's.
Bit of airtime there for Lockie Taylor. So coming up to 6.5 minute mark, it's Waratah 4-9-33, leading St Mary's 4-5-29 after that point by St Mary's.
So Westerberg in the ruck now for Waratah, and tries to take it out of the ruck, out of the air, but couldn't do so. It's on the ground and plenty of bodies in there. Eventually it comes out wide. Or some strong work there by Tarkson. So he opens a path for his teammates, and now Paredes is under some pressure as he kicks in towards half forward. Reaching around the back was Hetherington, but in doing so he's interfered with Jack Lant, and Jack Lant will go back and take the kick from about 45 out on the outer side. So going back a long way, and looks like he's going to back himself in for a shot at goal from here. Just runs over the paint of 50 now, kicks long towards goal. The kick looks pretty good. Oh, just
hit the post.
Cannon into the goal post there, so a missed opportunity there, and Waratah will reset.
Well, the Lant brothers have joined St Mary's this season from Sunbury in Victoria. They've got Dylan and Jack out there making their Premier League. Dylan actually played 11 games with Essendon in the VFL last year in 2019 and was named their rising star. So a little bit of talent there for St Mary's this season.
So a strong mark in front by Tyler Saunders for Saints, and he bangs the ball back inside 50 again. Body's pushed out the way. Ted Castle's on the bottom of this one, but he's caught with the ball. It spills out, and some strong tackling in there and some body work, but eventually the hand pass comes out, and Hetherington by hand to Godden. Godden kicks deep out to the outer side, and mark's taken there by Ned Stevens. And Tars work the ball by hand. It eventually ends up with Sutton, who kicks inside 50. And Newton down there lost his opponent pretty easily, and found himself in plenty of space and just took the mark on the chest like it was a training drill in the end.
Yeah, beautiful kick there by Sutton. Shannon?
Yeah, it's a very nice pass inside 50. Waratah seem to be able to hit targets inside 50 and take marks consistently, so it must be a part of their game plan, and it's working. They've got some really good targets up there in McGrath and Newton.
Newton's missed again. It's
could be costly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, Sutton's first season in the NTFL, he made his Premier League debut in round one. He's from the Calder Cannons and originally from the Riddell District Football League Victoria near Sunbury, which is where the Lant brothers from, and I'm pretty sure Dylan Tarkson, who's just taken that ball across the line, he's from that area as well. So a few locals from the Riddell District area there today.
So Tarkson kicks down towards the wing. Does that come off the boot? No.
Nice strong body, Tarkson, isn't he? He's going to take over a lot of work for young Nate Paredes and give him a spell here and there. So it's good to see that he's willing to put his body over the ball.
Yeah, similar size.
So Westerberg works in front, gets it hit out, and Tars work it out. McGrath with a high kick inside 50. Raf Clark with a double fister back to Oakes. Oakes floats one in towards full forward, off hands, and some good hands there by Musgrove. Out to Raymond, who took a bounce and now kicks down looking for Tarkson, goes through his hands, he works back on it, but Blake was there for Waratah. Ball on the ground still. Now Carroll runs away and gets a hand pass over the top. A flying kick by Wild towards goal, and it's a Wild kick offline and out of bounds to the left of the behind post for Waratah at the airport end of the ground. Jellyman Turner for Saints comes across the face of goal. Ball was just knocked out, but the mark's been paid to Dylan Lant back there. He's called to play on now and kicks down the line looking for Wilson. He's forced out of the way. Collis with good hands gets it back inside to Turnbull. Turnbull's kick in towards centre half forward, and Raf Clark just a bit too vigorous there, gives away the free kick. Brody Carroll doesn't like it much. He's letting Raf know, but
and Michael Newton?
I think it is, yeah.
It's just a beautiful delivery into Newton then, Shannon.
They've got some very good feet skills, Waratahs. We know that they've got a lot of players that have played interstate and high-level footy, but they do use the ball well by foot.
Umpire Mark Noonan just telling Raf to maybe go back into the goal square and just take away the tension that is out there for a minute, as we see Newton going to go back and take that shot from probably right on 50 by the time he kicks it.
He'll be keen to get a goal on the board. He's had a few opportunities and hasn't got one yet. This one's on the way, and he's just snuck that one inside the right-hand goal post. So looks a lot happier with himself after that kick, and plenty of Waratah's players get around him to congratulate him, and Tars just stretch that lead again back to where they were at half-time, basically.
Yeah, Newton's been coming up for Tars for a few seasons now, as we said, a very experienced footballer, and he'll be very happy to get that on the board, Shannon.
He's been a great goal kicker for Waratahs over a few seasons. I think he likes to play against Southern Districts when I was the former coach, because he used to kick bags of 6 or 7 every time he played us, so he's a very good, capable goal kicker.
And speaking of when you were coaching Southern Districts, you had Ryan Ayres as your assistant coach, and you'd be pretty happy to see him having some success in the Premier League over the last few seasons.
It's good to see Ryan take the step up and to be a head coach, and he's coaching very well, and his side's moving in the right path, and I think they're going to be around the mark come season's end.
So a long kick inside 50 for Tars out of that centre clearance. Brody Carroll working there, but Dylan Lance first to the ball, gets his hands out to Jellyman Turner, but his hand pass goes astray, and Brody Carroll in there again, and Godden's caught with the ball this time as he picked up and swung around, and he's penalised. Nate Paredes put the clamps on him there and wrapped him up. So Paredes looking to go short. He does so to Daly Andrews, who's had a fair bit of the ball today and looked pretty impressive, as we said before. But he's got the ball at half-back now for Saints. And again goes long, but there's plenty of Waratah players here again. Smith forces his opponent under the ball and running onto it. There is Payne a long way up the ground. Kicks it out in front of himself. Hasn't got much support. Some Waratah players there, but Payne did probably as well as he could have hoped in the end with the kick forward and follow-up chase, and just put enough pressure on to stop an easy pickup, and the ball goes out of bounds and on the left half forward flank for St Mary's, at the kicking towards the Michael Long centre end of the ground.
Ryan Smith's going to go up in the ruck, and he actually went down to the St Mary's women's training this week and did a specialist ruck session for the Saints girls, who play at 8 o'clock tonight on Oval 2 after this game. Always giving back to his club, Ryan.
So Sean Edwards there penalised, and Jellyman Turner coming in hard across here and to make the contest, and does well to see that out of bounds.
Jellyman Turner always looks neat and tidy with his shorts. Jumper tucked into the shorts. Shannon, did you used to tuck your jumper in when you played?
Yeah, well, Peter Atkinson used to coach us, and he always used to say, if you couldn't be a footballer, make sure we look like a footballer. So he does look like a footballer, but his intensity on the ball is what St Mary's needed, and I think they're going with him just purely by his intensity on the ball.
Yeah, well, he's a player that came back into the team this week. He was in Brisbane for work last weekend, so they clearly missed him in that loss to Buffs last week, as Brodie Carroll's going to kick that ball into the Tars forward 50.
Well, Mark's been claimed there and paid, and it's Sutton, I think, who's on the end of that one, but that all came as a result of some good tackling again by Brodie Carroll, good defensive work, and really leading the way in that department for Tars. Oh, kicks into the man on the mark here, and Paredes runs away, gets a hand pass forward to Williams, who takes his eye off the ball and fumbles. Hand pass back inside to Edwards. Edwards running on now, drills one forward towards Ladd, almost a throw there, but play on's the call. Edwards has a bounce as he's tackled, not quite tackled, and gets away with that. Now gets a hand pass out to Ted Castle, and again some action happening off the ball, long towards Jacob Long down here, but plenty of Waratah defenders, and the ball off hands and bounces over the boundary line in the right forward pocket for St Mary's.
We saw Jackson Payne right out of the forward line, then he's running back now. He was up in the Tars attacking, then Shannon lining up on Abe Anchors.
Yeah, Payne's got out of the goal square. He's given them that experience they need, and it was good to see Sean Edwards take the game on, and when they go quickly, they're catching Waratahs out in that nice deep entry. They're getting into their forward 50 and giving them an ability to make sure they have manic pressure down there and get restarts is going to give them the best opportunity to keep themselves in this game.
So both the ruckmen are on the ground. You might have a look later, Shannon, but they may be resting the ruckman out of the goal square at the moment just to give them a different option forward.
No, I think that's correct. I think they need that target up front, so they are probably resting him forward on the field.
So towed off the ground here, McGrath's first there for Tars, can't pick it up, but does on the second attempt, and hand passes inboard now, but misses the target there. Williams comes in for Saints. He kicks high and wide, and that's going to go out of bounds on the full, and not his best effort, and didn't really have a teammate for it to go to anyway, so it's Anchors for Tars. He'll take that free kick on the outer side.
So still a 10-point margin here. 17-minute mark of the third quarter. It's Waratah 5-10-40 leading St Mary's 4-6-30.
So ball out of bounds again. It's advanced about 40 metres for Tars, so they're just forward of centre for this boundary throw in front of the scoreboard. So Smith and Westerberg. Smith works to the front. Williams in there, can't take it clean. Parnell picks up and hacks it forward, but it's all Waratah here, and they run the ball out of defence, and that's a good pass. And now the chance going forward again. Newton and Raph Clark. Raph Clark works his way to the front, gets first hands to the ball, taps it backwards cleverly in the path of Taylor. Taylor toes it forward, now picks up under plenty of pressure, but works back. Hand passes back to Jellyman Turner here, and Jellyman Turner sees Smith further afield, and that's a good kick. He plays on quickly to Williams. He ducks back around onto his right foot, and now goes long towards centre half forward. Wasn't his best kick, but probably worked out pretty well in the end. Paredes picks up, chips short, looking for Wilson. Wilson running onto this now, picks up, hand passes over the top to Big Grenfell, who picks up on the half volley. Comes back around, snaps around the corner, but it just drifts across the face of goal and through for a behind. So another promising build-up for St Mary's there, although not quite hitting their targets, but still to the advantage of their teammates as they went forward.
I was just Googling the age of Michael Newton. He's on Raph Clark. They'd be two of the oldest players out there. Raph 35 and Michael Newton's 33, Shannon.
Yeah, that's good that they're still playing football, and you've got to play as long as you can, but it's the big names of St Mary's getting their hands on the football and generating the ball forward, and it's impressive to see, and I think Chopper would have asked that from his experienced players to get some more football and instill themselves on the game.
So speaking of Newton, he's out in front of Raf Clark this time and had a couple of grabs at it. Good enough, said the umpire, and the mark's paid. He's right out on the boundary line, just about at the join with the 50-metre arc out there. So he's had some easier shots than this and missed. Maybe he needs a bit more of a challenge. Yeah. Kicks on the way now. Looks. Oh, I was going to say it looked pretty good, and it did, but just banged into the near side goalpost there.
Yeah, the goal umpire didn't move much, but now signalled the point. Waratah 5-11-41, leading St Mary's 4-7-31.
So the ball's loose at half forward for Tars, picked up here by Anchors. He kicks around the corner high towards the top of the goal square. Some flying players down there. Eventually it bounces, and now Raf Clark has his jumper pulled as he kicks forward, and good overhead mark taken there by Dylan Lant at half back for Saints. He's plays on now. Chips the ball down towards the wing and spills over the top. Tarkson's first there for Saints, picks it up and now kicks inside 50, but the Waratah defender down there read it best, and that was Thomas Graham, and he chips it out to Oakes, and now Tars looking to work the ball forward again. Hand pass over the top to Ankies. He's under a bit of pressure, gives it back to Oakes. He leaps a long hand pass over the top. Tyler Saunders running out of defence, tried to hack it out of the ground, but Goddard eventually got it to Paredes. He fends a tackle, gets a hand pass over to Ted Castle running towards forward 50. Hand passes over the top on the bounce to Wilson. He hand passes inside to Tarkson. He's under pressure. He's tackled, gets it back to Wilson, who taps it forward into the hands of Ted Castle. And wasn't the prettiest stuff, but they kept persisting, and eventually weight of numbers and possession got them a goal.
Yeah, it was good from St Mary's. They just kept the ball alive. Rabs Wilson keeps the ball going forward. Young Bo Ted Castle takes that ground and eats it up, and gets forward to the footy, and then gets rewarded from his hard work to go to a second effort after Rabs tucks it forward, and they keep it alive, and they eventually score just by weight of numbers.
As you said, Shannon, Ted Castle knows where the goals is, and he eventually got one after a few attempts, as we see on the replay. Getting that quite easily up the Michael Long centre end. So it's back to a 4-point ball game. It's Waratah 5-11-41, leading St Mary's 37. Saints are certainly coming out there, Shan.
Yeah, they've definitely come, and they've never been out of it. They just changed their game style in the second quarter and gave themselves the best opportunity to be close enough at three-quarter time to come home and challenge for the win.
They probably just need to get those couple of goals in a row, Stu, to try and get in the lead.
Yeah, but it's a real contest at the moment, and I'm really enjoying it. The hand pass from Boulderstone comes out the back. Wild kicks forward here. Sutton off hands, takes possession, gets a good hand pass out, and mark's not paid, not far enough. McGrath snaps around the corner, kick looks good, and goal square was pretty vacant, and that ball bounced on the line and went through. So the quick reply from Waratah stretches that lead out to 10 points again, but again some good centre clearance work to get the ball forward.
Just another Waratah player free inside 50, and McGrath made that kick look easy, but it's actually a tough kick 40 metres out and snapping one around the body. So credit to young McGrath, and again Waratahs are just finding space forward of the contest, and they're doing it easily when they do go forward.
Yeah, he's the reigning best and fairest at Minyip Matoa in Victoria. McGrath, he was meant to be their assistant coach in 2020, but obviously the season didn't go ahead due to COVID-19. So a handy goal to Waratah, 6-11-47, leading St Mary's 5-7-37 here at TIO Stadium in Darwin.
Balderston again to Turnbull. He gets tackled but gets his hand pass out. McGrath tried to punch it forward. Lant in there toes it off the ground. Quick kick out, and Saints tidy up on the back of the centre square, but good tackle there, and the siren's gone to end the third quarter. So again, Waratah kicking the last goal of the quarter just to stretch that lead and just give them a little bit of breathing space as we go into the last quarter.
And Shannon, just a quick wrap up of who you've seen in the best for both teams.
I thought Brodie Carroll's work rate's great. Jay McGrath, is continuing his good work with Michael Newton. The Collis brothers are getting their hands on the ball, but St Mary's as a collective, I think their team was exactly that. They were a team, and they're starting to grind the game out. They got themselves into a position where they can eventually win the game of footy. But I thought Tarkson was very good for him. Again, he's taken that role of Paredes, but Paredes is also generating some of the ball now after half time. Kieran Parnell's continuing on, and Raf Clark's going to keep battling on against Newton. Rab Wilson, like we said, does his special things when they do, and that's what all good special players do. They only need to touch it a few times and they'll make something of it.
Well, a 10-point margin, the same margin as at halftime, sets us up for a great last quarter here at TIO Stadium in Darwin. Don't go too far away. We'll be back after this short break.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Head on in to Kazali's Palmerston Club. Business meetings, coffee breaks, or just unwinding, Kazali's has you covered. It's the perfect spot for a catch-up with friends, with stylish function areas suitable for any occasion. Sensational meals. Our family-friendly bistro has plenty of delicious options. All the latest machines in our modern gaming room. Get around the pool tables and prove your skills. Fancy a flutter? We've got full betting facilities available. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
So we can feel forever, yeah, feel together, real together. No one can stop. No one can stop. Nothing can ever bring me down. Time to escape, 'cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide. Ooh.
Great Northern Brewing Co. The beer from up here.
Intersport, new concept store now open in Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience. Dedicated sports zones. Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice, still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store. Now open at Casuarina Square.
AFL Northern Territory would like to remind spectators that congregating at the team huddles is not permitted during the breaks.
Welcome back to TIO Stadium in Darwin for the final quarter of this round 7 game between St Mary's and Tars. We've got a 10-point game. Tars 47 leading Saints 37. Shannon, big last quarter coming up.
It's a big last quarter for both of them. It's a very close game, and as both coaches would have insisted on their group, is to continue and just deliver on what they know and what their team structures may be, but they've got to keep continuing playing some fast footy, which I think is working for St Mary's.
And we were just saying in the break, if Tars win, they've gone win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win for the season, and they've got Buffs next week. So Buffs are playing pretty well. That could continue, but anything can happen in this last quarter, Stu.
Absolutely, and Saints have got the first clearance, got the first opportunity. Hand pass comes out in front of Tedcastle, picks up now after tapping it in front of himself, hooks around the corner right to the goal line. But good defensive work back there by Maloney for Waratah. Got a hand to the ball and over for a behind. So
great leg speed by both Tedcastle just to break away from his direct opponent. Yeah,
he's been impressive today. Hasn't got his usual amount of goals on the board yet, but as you said, Shannon, keep getting the ball forward and into the goal square.
So Hetherington bringing that one in and looking out there for William Collis, but he was under plenty of pressure and off hands, went out of bounds. So a boundary throw in at half forward for St Mary's on the outer side of the ground. So a bit of a wrestle there. Smith wins out, gets the tap forward, and but Tars with some numbers across half back. Hetherington again chips this one out wider, and looking there for his teammate in Turnbull, but couldn't keep the ball in play, and we'll have another boundary throw in. So a real arm wrestle here, and Waratah, to their credit, every time they've been challenged, they've just been able to get a steadying goal. And so, as Liz said in the third quarter, I think Saints, to win the game, need to get a couple in a row, obviously, and something they really haven't been able to do tonight.
We see Jellyman pushing up the field a bit further than his normal deep defensive role, Shannon.
Yeah, he's pushing up. He's, like I said, he's very lively, he's very quick, but he doesn't take a backward step, and he'll put his body on the line, and maybe the St Mary's players can go with him and lift a little bit from his efforts.
So Andrews working hard at the clearance there, had a couple of touches, and now spreads it for Lant to chip inside to young Lloyd Raymond, who marks on 50. He's looking to square the ball. Harry Williams marks this one just outside 15. He's looking to play on quickly now. He's got them lining up in the corridor forward, and he chipped it, and Sean Edwards, I think it is, was probably the best option out of all of them in that position.
So the work rate of Daly Edwards just then, who'd taken the mark inside 50, started that play back at centre wing, but it was just explosive to break away from the pack and the congestion and get outside it with a quick handball, but then also power run forward and hit back up at the ball coming at him to take an easy mark, but missed the goal to the near side.
Yeah, it was Jackson Payne, obviously, but yeah, another disappointing miss. So both sides have had opportunities missed, and it's kept the game close, if nothing else, but it's certainly been a good contest. And now Waratah, Callum Searle running that ball out of the goal square. It slips over the top, hand pass by Sutton out here to Collis. He kicks along the wing. Parnell in front with clean hands, but received some attention, and the ball spilled over the boundary line.
And there haven't been long quarters in this game, Shannon, so, St Mary's, if they want to win, they need to get their skates on pretty early.
Yeah, they haven't been going too long, 20 minutes, 22 minutes, but, I think both sides have got to take the opportunity. There's not long to play these quarters, so whoever scores first, obviously, is going to give themselves the best chance of winning.
So Tark's on there. Hand passes to the advantage of Jellyman Turner here. He's got Wilson running with the flight of the ball, takes the mark, plays on, chips back inside, but Hetherington's read that best, and he takes the intercept mark, kicks down here towards and finds Oakes at half back, and Searle here screaming for the ball. Eventually the ball comes to him, and he's got no one on the mark, so he just wanders off. And now kicks down the line, and that's a good pass in the end. Finds his teammate Carmichael, who hand passed across to Wild. Wild in towards half forward, finds Sutton. He hand passes back inside to Turnbull. Turnbull goes wider on the outer side, and again a good build up, and Newton on the end of that one out in front of Clark. And just the kick inside 50 to his advantage, and he didn't let his teammates down, and he'll go back for a set shot, and a goal here starts to make it pretty hard for Saints, I would think. They'd need 3 goals then to win the game. So Newton's kick on the way. Goal umpire makes a bit of ground, and he's missed again. So we're saying at 3/4 time, Shannon. I reckon that's probably 1 goal 5 or 6 for Newton tonight.
Yeah, that'll be 1 goal 5, 1 goal 6 for him. He's presenting well, but he's just got to be able to put him through the big sticks. And obviously Ryan wouldn't be happy with the return he's getting from the set shots on goals, because they've been in positions where they are obviously relatively easy goals.
I think Ryan Smith's going to get the free kick there for getting pushed out of the marking contest.
Zach Westerberg just a bit too vigorous in that one, and hit him early before the ball got there. So Smith called to play on now. He hand passes round the back to Saunders. Saunders chips it to Williams, and now Williams looking further afield, but Tars are pretty well set up behind the ball, so he chips out wide here to Lockie Taylor. Taylor short again to Jellyman Turner. So just keeping possession here, Saints, at the moment, while trying to work their way through this disciplined Waratah's defence. He goes long eventually, and the young fella there was no match for Tom Graham, and Graham took that mark at half-back.
It's an impressive mullet that Tom Graham is sporting there, Shannon.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a mullet going on. It's a modern-day trend, but he took a great mark there on the young fella, just put his body in the right position.
But unfortunately kicked it out on the full for his team, and we'll see Jellyman Turner try again to get that ball into the Saints' attack.
Really isn't much of a path forward for him. It's going back in the Graham direction. Well, he's spoilt by his teammate in the end. Good hands forward by Raymond, and Paredes picks up, kicks around the corner towards the goal square. Sean Edwards running onto this one, taps it to himself, gets his boot to the ball, but it just dribbles through for a behind in the end. And now Waratah looking to work the ball quickly out here, where Godden takes the mark at half back, chips wider, and mark's taken out there by Turnbull. He goes over the top to Sutton, looked to hand pass, then decided against it and kicked inboard to Godden instead. Godden in the centre of the ground, kicks long towards Newton. Clark this time does well defensively, gets his fist to the ball. Parnell fumbles unusually for him tonight, and gives Tars the chance, but again St Mary's with some numbers, and now Parnell running out of defence has a bounce, but now doubles back on himself and hand passes backwards because he had nothing to go to. Looks like Jacob Long working back there, receives a hand pass back after giving it, and now chips in short to Ryan Smith, who takes the mark on the wing. He hand passes back inside, and a good build up by Saints. Jackson Payne hand passes over the top. Paredes running onto this one, but no. It's gone across the face of goal.
Just great build-up when young Long gets the ball. He takes off and eats the ground up, and it's exciting to see these young guys take the game on.
Oakes deep in the back pocket for Waratah, takes this mark, and now his kick is smothered. Some terrific work on the mark by Dylan Tarkson. I think most coaches would be pretty happy that the players conscientious in working the mark, and it can turn a game sometimes, Shannon.
I think we've seen four or five smothers today, Shannon.
Those 1%ers definitely win your games of footy. You know, they're not a stat where you're getting a kick or a handball and you look like your possession count, but those are the types of acts that win your games of footy. So
Saints deep forward, that throwing falls short. Ed comes into Edwards' hands. It bounces. So Maloney had done everything right, got himself in the right position, but fortunate bounce there from the Edwards kick around the corner, bounced straight over his head and through the goal, and again, Saints right back in the game with a goal after Tars had the opportunity at the other end and missed once again.
It's a very experienced forward line down there for St Mary's with Payne, Edwards, Paredes and Tarkson. So they've obviously put their big guns there.
And the closest margin we've had all match, just a 1-point ball game now at the 9.5-minute mark of the final quarter. Waratah 6-12-48 leading St Mary's 6-11-47. Will we see the lead change, Shannon?
I'm not sure if Saints have been in front at all today, but they're very, very close. So they've closed their game up with 10 minutes into the fourth, and they've given themselves a great opportunity for sure.
So the ruck contest, Grenfell gets his hand to this one, but no clear winner there as there was numbers around the ball, and picking himself up off the ground is Jack Lant, who was swamped as soon as he took possession. So again, the ball up in the centre of the ground. Grenfell thumps this one forward, goes past Tarkson there, and Harry Williams running onto it, forces the ball forward, and caught with the ball there was Blake, not penalised. Thomas with the hand pass across here, and now the chance for Tars to come out of defence, but there's plenty of Saints defenders around there, so some good strong work, and hand pass forward, and Thomas hand passes inboard to Anchors. Anchors chips out wide and finds his captain out there, Brody Carroll, and settles things down and goes long towards Newton in the goal square. Raf Clark there, but Kieran Parnell read it best as they were jostling for the ball and made his way across the front to take the mark. A quick kick to himself by Taylor there, but that didn't work out. Long back there. But we've got a free kick off the ball, and it's going Waratah's way. And a 50-metre penalty. There's probably a bit of dissent there from one of the Saints players, and it's really not what they need at the 11.5-minute mark of the last quarter when they're only a point behind. So
Jacob Long was off there too, looking a lot more comfortable down in the back line. For St Mary's in this last quarter, he's had a few good passages of play, but Waratahs have the shot on goal.
So no problem at all there, and Waratah again get the answering goal after Saints have really threatened. So disappointing for St Mary's there, giving away a free kick and then off the ball, and then the 50-metre penalty, which allowed Waratahs to advance down the field and have a shot for goal from the goal square, basically. And William Collis made no mistake, as you would expect.
Yeah, good goal there by William Collis, taking that margin out again. Tars 7-12-54, leading St Mary's 6-11-47, 12.5-minute mark of the fourth quarter, and the quarters haven't been too long, maybe about 10 minutes to go.
So Tars working the ball from half-back. Collis in here to Turnbull and back to Turnbull, but Jacob Long's back there, hooks it to... Tried to hook it forward to Raf Clark. It came off his shins. Hand pass comes back inboard. Newton's caught with the ball this time by Jacob Long, but umpire Noonan says he didn't have an opportunity to get rid of that one. So as we've seen a number of times today, a bit of push and shove as the players pick themselves up off the ground. Now Saints through Paredes gets hands to Goddard. Back here to Lant, and Dylan Lant drives down the line, but that's not his best effort. Searle drops that mark and gives Jack Lant the opportunity. Got it out to Sean Edwards, who's off now with a bounce, and a second bounce running towards half forward now. Hand passes inboard, looking for Wilson. Wilson picks up and now straightens up towards goal, but his kick's offline and bounces through for another minus score for St Mary's at the airport end of the ground.
So just the one straight goal. Waratah 7-12-54, leading St Mary's 6-12-48 at almost the 14-minute mark of this final quarter.
Carmichael out of defence, looking there for Gooch, goes through his hands. Jellyman Turner for Saints comes across, but his kick's half smothered, and Carroll has three players down the ground. He finds one of them in Sutton, and Sutton plays on straight away now, has a bounce, runs towards 50, kicks inside 50, and that's a beautiful delivery to Newton, who just took it a bit too casually, had some space, dropped the mark, and Saints able to work the ball over the boundary line for a throw-in. So a let-off there for Saints as Tars worked the ball the length of the ground to get it into Newton's hands. Just waiting for the boundary umpire to catch up with the ball now. Tars had moved it pretty quickly around the outer side, and so it's deep in their forward line, and 14.5 minutes. A score here for Tars would be valuable, you would think.
Tars were looking dangerous until that mark was dropped, Shannon.
They're a very exciting team, and they play with a lot of forward movement, which is, very direct and sharp. But St Mary's credit, they just keep chopping the ball off, and they're keeping themselves in the game. They're not going to go down without a fight, and like I said, when Sean Edwards is in full flight and he's running across the ground like that, they're every opportunity to win the game of footy.
Saunders won that free kick and chipped across to Jellyman Turner. He goes down the line here. Tarkson gets to the ball, can't take the mark. Thomas dives over the top and taps it forward. Now Paredes off a standing start kick forward, was caught high after he kicked the ball, and it'll be a Saints relayed free kick. Harry Williams trying to find out where the mark is, but it's not his kick. In fact, Tarkson's going to have to take it, so he comes back now. Plays on by hand to Dylan Lant. He runs straight across the ground and back into the corridor where Kieran Parnell's got some space. Takes a mark, plays on straight away and chips out wide to Wilson. Wilson marks in front of the scoreboard on the outer side, so they've moved that ball laterally but not very far forward. He chips back inboard to Daly Andrews. Andrews goes inside 50. Jack Lant drops this one off the chest. Should have taken that, but recovers. His hand pass isn't the best. Jellyman Turner picks up and takes off straight away. Straightens up, kicks towards goal, and if you don't mind, straight through the middle. And I think that levels the game up, Liz.
Absolutely, and Jellyman Turner said, I'm not going to go outside, I'm just going to go straight through the middle. And what a great goal to draw the match even with at the 16.5 minute mark of the final quarter, Shannon.
It's exciting. We're in an arm wrestle, and Jellyman Turner took the game on and seen the big sticks and went straight for them. I think persistent pays off. I think St Mary's have been very persistent, and they won't go away from from their first quarter, which they were a bit slow in their intent on the ball. I think since the second quarter they've been superb in their efforts and their ability to transition.
Yeah, so about 5 or 6 minutes remaining, one would think, and it's all even here at TIO Stadium in Darwin.
Some similarities to the earlier game, Shannon.
Yeah, it's an exciting game for the crowd.
So Grenfell thumps that one forward. Ball's on the ground. Williams taps it back out to Paredes. Again, getting plenty of possessions now. Hacks the ball forward. Thomas with a double fister out in front. Dylan Lant kicks off the ground. It's going to fall straight into the arms here of Sean Edwards. About 40 out directly in front, so probably pretty fortunate, but you make your own luck and you get yourselves in the right position, and Sean Edwards was in front of his opponent and just able to run onto the ball there and take the mark, and now he'll have a set shot from about 40 out. Kicks on the way now, no problem whatsoever, straight through the middle, and so Saints are coming hard now. And that's Sean Edwards' third goal for the game by my calculations, and second for the quarter.
Yeah, third goal for Shawnee Edwards, and we saw him the hero against Nightcliff a few weeks ago as well, kicking that last goal that in the final quarter. And as Shannon just alluded to, isn't it exciting when Shawnee Edwards has got the ball? He
definitely is an excitement machine, but St Mary's forced the ball forward, and like we said, Stu, the fortune favours the brave. They kick it forward and Sean Edwards in front. But I think it's St Mary's ability just to keep grinding away, and like we said, Sean Edwards, the game was waiting for somebody to take this game apart, and an experienced player like Sean Edwards is the player.
Well, some good work in the middle there, but fantastic defensively, and Daly Andrews has been impressive for Saints today. He made that tackle. He's got this one out in front of Tarkson, taps it forward to himself, to his own advantage, picks up now as he runs inside 50, centres the ball back towards centre half forward. Edwards there, but it's Wilson on the left foot, hooks around the corner, and he likes it. And St Mary's are coming hard now with 3 goals in a row in this final quarter, and they've put a bit of space between themselves and Tars for the first time in the game.
Sensational effort there by Tarkson, Shannon, just to push that ball forward and centre it to the Saints' advantage.
Yeah, he's pure grunt. He's a nice body type. He's very hard at it, and he just keeps grinding. And the Saints green machine, and he typifies that.
Well, he's paid his dues in Division 1, Tarkson, and this is his first Premier League game for St Mary's, and what an impact he's made. So St Mary's have hit the lead, waited till, the last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter to do so, but it's St Mary's 9-12-66, leading Waratah 7-12-54. It's a great game here at TIO Stadium in Darwin.
Ryan Smith gets that tap down. Parides on the bottom of the pack, but he's got plenty of opponents. Eventually the ball works out, but now goes back into the pack. But it's free now. Oakes fumbles at the first attempt. We've got a hand pass forward, but only as far as the St Mary's player. It's Tarkson at centre half forward now with a flying shot towards goal. It's going deep, and Maloney working back, couldn't take the mark, got his hand to the ball and tapped it through for a behind. Could be an important one late in this game. That's a 13-point margin now, and Tars would have to be working the ball pretty quickly to transition to the other end of the ground and put some pressure back on.
Yeah, absolutely. That 1 point can make all the difference. Waratah would need to kick 3 goals as we see it go over the top of the players there, Stu.
So it's spilt to the back of the pack, but it's deep in Saints' forward line, and Oakes working on the outer side there, looking for options. His kick was smothered in the end, and Saints really working hard to get numbers around the ball now. And centering ball here to Ryan Smith off hands. He hooks around the corner, but Tars should be able to tidy this one up as it bounces, and Thomas goes to ground, is caught with the ball by Jacob Long, not making much of an effort, and Mark Noonan will pay that every day of the week. Jacob Long looks to run off from the mark, but Noonan's having none of it, and probably the sensible thing for him to do is to go back and soak up some seconds and have a shot at goal from here.
You might hear some extra audio if Jacob kicks the goal. His mum, Arnie Burney, sitting right below us and has the loudest voice at TIO Stadium when her sons are out there, and daughters who play for the women's team. Bernie, well known to everyone at St Mary's, works behind the bar at the club as the bar manager.
It's great coaching by Anthony Vallejo and his team. Young Long started back for the first part of the quarter, and he's moved him forward for, to give them lively legs.
I put the commentator's curse on him.
Yeah, they haven't been good with set shots today, both sides.
So Searle looking to move the ball quickly, plays on from that free kick, and now Anchor's in there, caught with the ball, swings it forward with a hand pass, but Saints are really working hard defensively across their half-forward line now, but now the chance for Carmichael, and he looks to bring the ball back inboard. Collis by hand, but ball works its way down towards the centre square. Smith hacks it forward, but Tars have the numbers there, and hand pass out the back from Westerberg to Anchors. He drives long. Saints are set up behind the ball and bang it straight back in, but picked up down there by Carmichael. Hooks around the corner, but again St Mary's have got numbers camped behind the ball, and Mark's taken out there by Taylor, is it, Liz? And,
yeah, that's Lockie Taylor.
And he slows things down and drives long. But again, it's just kicking from half-back line to half-back line at the moment, and Ryan Smith on the end of this one. I think he's thinking that 22 and a half minutes in, they've probably got enough of a lead and he can slow things down and soak up a bit of time. So Dylan Lant receives this one out wider on the outer wing, and decides to go long towards the boundary line. Sean Edwards, a huge leap. Don't know if he got his hands to the ball. Certainly didn't take the mark, and it says it spilled over the back. Goddard taps it forward. Payne by hand, but now it's spilled out the back, and Saints still working hard. A snapshot around the corner, but it's gone right across the face of goal. That was Jackson Payne again, but disappointed with himself.
He wasn't happy about that
opportunity. So Waratah working the ball quickly, gotten under this one, couldn't mark under pressure, and now the ball on the ground. Tarkson again tackled high. He's really, I was going to say, really worked his way into the game as it went on, and a strong finish by Saints, and that's a good win for them, a really important one, and I think Ryan Ayres and Tars will be pretty disappointed to lose from the opportunities and the position they were in, Shannon.
Yeah, he'd be bitterly disappointed. They led for 3/4 of the game, and then we see St Mary's start grinding the game out. It was there threatening for someone to take the game by the scruff of the neck, and I thought Sean Edwards and Daly Andrews for his first game of footy was fantastic, and also Tarkson seems to be that likely type that got them going, and they never say die attitude.
Yeah, his first game as well, and he actually won the meat tray at the footy club on Thursday night, Shannon, so the meat tray and a win in his first Premier League game. So St Mary's 9-13-67, defeating Waratah 7-12-54 here at TIO Stadium in Darwin after trailing the whole game, Stu, until, the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, Saints kicked the first goal, but then it was Waratah, so he looked to be in control of the game. But as I said, Saints finished really strongly, and I think Shannon said a number of times through the game their name players really started to stand up, and Paredes got plenty of clearances, and Dylan Lant down back was really important, and Kieran Parnell, so they've come away with a win that maybe they didn't look like getting until the last 10 or 15 minutes of the game. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, big thank you to Shannon Rusker and Stu Davis for joining me here in the commentary box tonight. My name's Liz Cruz, and we'll see you all back next week for another game of TIO NTFL 2020-21 season.